I didn't really feel very nervous out there at all. I hit a lot of good shots myself, so I was very pleased with how the day went.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, you talk about his swing. How is yours doing right now, and how do you feel about the game coming up?
Yeah, I mean, I really felt good coming in. Obviously just qualifying. You've had to have played well at least a couple of days to qualify. And yesterday I played with Paul Goidos and a couple of French guys, and that was a great pairing. Paul I've known for a long time, and him and I are pretty similar as far as how we hit it. And then we had these two young guys who hit it 30 by us all day, and I'm just kind of used to that, so not a big deal. But I hit it okay yesterday. I didn't feel like I hit it great, but I did think today was better. It was just a better day weather-wise. Yesterday was kind of overcast and a little damp. The ball wasn't going as far, but today the sun's out, a little warmer, and I guess my body. I never feel like I'm all that old, but I definitely can tell when the weather warms up, I do move a little better.
We're talking to Jerry Smith. He's representing the great state of Iowa. He's a former Baylor Bear in the U.S. Open, along with Zach Johnson. And talk about your trip there from a qualifying perspective, because you didn't have your tour card this year. A lot of people listening across the state may not be familiar with how you arrived at Pebble Beach this year.
Yeah, I have not played as much this year as years past. Probably as little golf as any year I can remember in the last, maybe 15. But, that's been fine. I mean, I've still been playing a lot of golf around home and practicing and, working on my game here and there. But, yes, I did the local qualifier this year there in Phoenix, the Phoenix Country Club, qualified through there. Shot 67, had a good round, 6 qualifiers in the local, and then went to Bull Valley and Woodstock for the sectional. We had 31 players there, and only 2 of us qualified, and I got one of the spots there, shot 5 under for the 2 rounds, and here I stand. I'm actually looking out over the 4th green at Spyglass talking to you guys.
Yeah, well, we're in downtown Des Moines. Thanks for giving us that visual, Jer.
You probably hear some of the buses. Some of the buses are driving by from the parking lots going to Pebble. So, it's a pretty rough spot.
And I guess the other question, Judd was telling a funny story earlier in the show about one of his experiences with seagulls out there. Are they as bad as people comment about?
Well, I didn't see any problem with the seagulls today. I did see a lot, but I didn't see any come down and take any golf balls or anything like that. But I'm sure that they could create a problem if you let them.
No, inside tip. No, was it M&M peanuts? No M&M peanuts in your cart, and you'll keep them away from you.
Well, the good thing is we won't have carts for the next few days. So
yeah, I guess you won't start tomorrow. Yeah, it's not. You're not in the Champions Tour yet, Jared. Hey, we appreciate you taking time. Everybody in Iowa will be watching you and Zach represent us. 2:42 Pacific Standard Time is your tee time tomorrow. Good luck, and we'll be following you closely.
Guys, thank you. I always appreciate it. It's fun talking to you.
Stay in the moment, buddy.
All right.
Okay.
Jerry Smith, we're going to take a break, come back, and we'll do a little tin cup trivia in our golf movie, Facts for Hacks. We'll be back on the tee on the Iowa Sports Connection Radio Network. Tournament Club of Iowa is an Arnold Palmer signature course and one of Iowa's premier public courses located in Polk City, just north of Des Moines. TCI offers a challenging yet appealing course for a wide cross-section of golfers. The Palmer design winds through hills, dramatic bluffs, and timberland surrounding beautiful Big Creek. The clubhouse is Iowa's finest, with class and ambiance, along with the state's most spectacular views from the patio overlooking 18. TCI, with its reasonable fees, is a must-play in 2010. For tee times and reservations, call 515-984-9440 or log on to tcofiowa.com. Now let's go back out to the West Coast, to Pebble Beach, and he's kind enough to join us as he does about once a month. He's Alex Micelli from the Golf Channel. You know him as the stat man from The Approach with Callaway Golf. And we just got done talking to Jerry Smith here, Alex, one of our 2 Iowa qualifiers, and he said it's just spectacular out there right now.
Well, you don't find this kind of golf course in Iowa, I can tell you that. Even though there's some really nice courses in Iowa, it's that big ocean thing that makes the difference, I believe.
Well, yeah, and not only that, but you have the ocean. But at Pebble Beach, we've had some of the great all-time champions win there. So this golf course kind of tells a story itself every time they have a U.S. Open there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's such a good golf course to determine the best player that week. It has the ability to do that. When you play the AT&T here, that's not the case. It's wet, it's soggy. You play this golf course twice out of the 4 days. You play the other two courses, so it's not the same. You get here now, and this is the same for Riviera actually as well. It's dry, it's hard, it's fast. It's a completely different golf course, and it really does determine who is the best player that week. It really is a great test.
And all the guys you've been talking to, Alex, who you looking at right now you think are maybe some of the favorites?
Well, first of all, I will give some kudos right now to Zach Johnson. I'm sure that you guys don't have a problem with that.
No.
I think that he's a good ball striker. He's a pretty good putter. This course is going to set up similar to the way Augusta did, maybe before they really lengthened it. So I think he's got, as long as it stays hard and fast, I think he's got a good chance. Do I think he's got the best chance? No, but he's certainly one of the guys. I think if you look down the list, you can't overlook Phil Mickelson to begin with, nor could you actually overlook Lee Westwood. I think they're 1A and 1B. I think one of those two guys could actually win this with no problem. They're playing so well, both of them. Even though Westwood won last week and Phil did not win at Memorial, I think both of them are exactly where they wanted to be coming into this event. Then you kind of look at some other guys that kind of add into the mix, a Tim Clark, a Luke Donald. Dustin Johnson's won here twice, but it was an AT&T, completely different than it is now. So I think there's a good mix there. I think it's probably one of the more wide open opens you're going to get because it is playing hard and fast, and so you can get two different kind of guys really kind of opening up and doing well here. One of the things I'll definitely say is that if you get a long hitter that's hitting it straight and controlling his ball, he's going to have a huge advantage over the rest of the field.
We're looking at some of the interesting pairings prior to having you on, and tomorrow at 1:47, Tom Watson with a couple of guys that could possibly even be grandkids of his, Rory McIlroy and Roy Ishikawa. That's going to be interesting watching the old school and the changing of the guard.
Well, I think what you're going to be looking at, or in this case, what Watson's going to be looking at, is those guys having their tee shots about 25 yards in front of them on every hole, because those guys are so good. I mean, the week that Ishikawa shot 58 is the same week that Rory McIlroy shot 62 at Quail Hollow. I don't think Tom Watson has sniffed a 62 in a while. So I think that's a good example of he's going to see what life is really like at the younger set, because these guys are going to really just let it rip. But I think it's a great pairing. I think they're going to be able to understand and learn a little from Tom Watson. He's not going to learn anything from those guys because whatever they can teach him is way beyond his years now.
Well, Alex, it's probably been since 1996 that anybody's talked about a U.S. Open this long and not mentioned the name Tiger Woods. I mean, gosh, the last time he was there, he won by 15. He lapped the field. I know, obviously, his game's a little bit different from at that time, but, how do you feel about Tiger this week?
Well, I got to be honest with you. He hasn't shown me anything that indicates to me that he's going to be a contender this week. You can go back to his previous form. You can go back to these Tiger Woods. That all sounds good, but at the end of the day, he hasn't shown anything to indicate that he is going to be a guy that would be a contender this week. So I guess how I feel is he's a field pick as far as I'm concerned. He's not anything more than that.
Well, let's talk about, every year, like last year, Lucas Glover. Every year, you seem to see someone come out of the pack that you didn't expect. Who would be that person this year for you besides Zach Johnson having an outside shot?
Well, I like Jason Gore because he knows this golf course so well. He's won a California Amateur here and a California Open here, I believe. So I really like Jason Gore.
Do they serve Claps Blue Ribbon in the clubhouse for him?
They will. PBR, for sure. And then, another guy I like that's maybe closer to where Lucas Glover was back when Lucas Glover won. I mean, Lucas was 29 and he was 71st in the world when he won. There's a guy, Brian Davis from England. He's 35. He's a little older, but he's 73rd in the world, and he's played well in spurts.